Hello, Chosen. Welcome back to my channel. The purpose of this video is to bring clarity to those members of the elect who may be drawn to tarot and the meanings behind the imagery and energy, especially as they relate to your own personal spiritual awakening. I offer only one perspective, and tarot is open to as many interpretations as there are personal interactions. So I thank you for your time and attention in considering mine. I also encourage you to check out my introductory video in this series, which I will link in the description box below, as it may help explain why and how you find yourself sharing your company with me. Either way, I'm grateful for you, and I'll keep this as brief as possible, so let's begin. Here, I'll be talking about the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, and Justice, numbered 9, 10, and 11. A heavily bearded man stands with head bowed at the very top of a snow-capped mountain. He holds a staff in one hand and a lantern of starlight in the other. The entire image suggests isolation and contemplation. The hermit teaches how to reach within and access that which dwells inside of us, not to show the world, but for our own understanding and acceptance. It remains there and is an assessment of what is changing and unchanging about ourselves. This is what allows for understanding of our origins and foundations, of what you possess that is unique to you. This is the self-reflection stage of the journey, the reckoning. The hermit carries little with him, and the peak he stands on only allows room for one. While his symbols might not be very grand, they are supremely powerful. A staff to lean on when you grow tired, to guide your steps when you falter. A simple lantern that still holds the full light of a star, your soul. What you have is enough. You were always enough. The raw environment implies that it is not often an easy transition, this casting into the wilderness. While not easy, it is necessary. Never a punishment, never without purpose. What this journey will do is merely strip you of your limitations, those that were self-imposed as a result of a pure spirit being anchored in the muck and mire of the material world. You will never be judged by the divine for what was done in the name of survival and self-preservation. There must, however, be a reckoning. This is where everything will be stripped from you. Anything that can provide a distraction, neutralized. The light from the star, your individual light, will reveal the way to your own truths, the knowing of who you were and are, to allow for who you will be. The hermit provides the space to understand yourself in its entirety, the joy and the sorrow, the great but also the grief. To know yourself is to understand the how and why of your uniquely divine engineering. It's also an opportunity to assess the lessons you've learned from your other guides and accept the ways in which you've been changed. It is a fundamental and therefore radical change that is taking place within you and requires patience and grace. One of the best things that the hermit offers is time, and a safe space to ground and recenter in light of all that you have experienced. It is your own secret corner of the cosmos, one that offers countless returns as you return to self. It's to help you remember that you are a celestial being, and your light is meant to reach the earth while remaining above it. The great wheel that represents the Wheel of Fortune is illustrated in its center with different alchemical and esoteric symbols, some of which are meant to convey the 4 elements and directions. Torah, the divine law, is spelled out one way, and tarot, one of the law's interpretations, is read the other. The word rota can also be included. While not specifically defined, if it was meant to be considered a translation of wheel, it's as if the wheel is naming itself. It is aware of itself as an energy or collection of energies that exists without needing to be defined or controlled by outside influence. The 4 figures that border the image, a man, eagle, bull, and lion, were named in one of Ezekiel's visions and are one of the forms of the Most High, meant to show divine rulership over the wheel. The Wheel of Fortune teaches divine timing and cycles. It is a culmination of our entire lifetimes, the ones we've lived before and the ones we may live after, the lifetime we examine as the Hermit. It also exists outside of our construct of time, and especially how it affects us personally. It is ever turning and ever evolving, with the past, present, and future as parallels and as one. With the Wheel of Fortune, you are given a sense of your own presence within a much grander, almost impossibly larger scheme. But it also includes that which we are not party to, divine influence making things happen behind the scenes, in an incalculable way. It contains all that is micro and macro, the seen and the unseen, alpha and omega. It teaches us that there is divine order for the purpose of harmony, everything moving in perfect concert. It is the hum and vibration of the universe as symphony, a pulse one taps into from time to time to evolve. As a manifestation of cycles, it leaves us with the belief that the only constant is that there is no constant, and that our awareness is our only anchor. It represents every moment of perfect timing that was made to create you and that conspired to collaborate with you to get you to embark on this journey. A seemingly androgynous figure sits before a blank tapestry and between 2 plain pillars in an unadorned and spare chamber. The robe and cape are unpatterned. In fact, the only obvious symbols of their power are the crown, scale, and sword, and the crown seems to lie heavily upon the brow. The face is expressionless, and the gaze is fixed on some distant point beyond the viewer. It is the face of the Sphinx, that which is present before the chariot, and which symbolizes equilibrium atop the wheel. It is the face of justice, the Most High as final, grave judge, and everything illustrated suggests that it's cold and impersonal, stark and matter-of-fact. Its voice is a death knell, the tolling of a single terrible bell. It is the frenzied baying of the hounds having run down their quarry. It is a finish. It registers your existence only as the displacement of space during the sliding of its scales. The air in the chamber is still, if it even exists at all. The metal of the sword and scale are a cold burning if touched, and possibly heavy if held. Justice is the absolute energy of divine and therefore universal law, the delicately heavy and perfect balance of all things. It is a drop of water kept perfectly still and steady on a razor's edge. It is a part and parceling out of dharma and karma. Justice is perhaps not what is deserved, but what is right, and therefore necessary. What is fair to justice is not always fair to all. This is why it's not subject to the judgment of man, but the embodiment of objective law, never meant to be controlled by anything but the divine. It is implacable, inexorable, and it comes for us all. It is therefore the energy of finality, you confronting that particular manifestation of the divine which cannot be moved. This is the Almighty. Though it does not teach, we still learn that there is not a court in which to argue for or against. It is where protests and pleading choke and die, and the throat that you find is suddenly dry. If the information you find in this video is helpful or interesting, please like, share, and subscribe. I'd like to know how many I can count as members of my tribe, and you can help me reach as many people as possible that could benefit from the message. We'll speak again soon, so bye for now.